go. All right, this is going to be the part one for the OpenGL crash course. And what we're going to be doing today is we're just going to get OpenGL up and running on your Windows machine as easily as you can. That way we could just get to the code right away so you could get familiar with OpenGL code and you can start making some stuff with it in our game engine. Well, be able to recognize it in our game engine. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I have opened here on my screen is GitHub for the website learnopengl.com. And and this here has all the source code for all the tutorials in their website. So there's one in specific that I want to show. Let me show you the website actually. Oh, learnopengl.com. It's this website here. Actually, I'm gonna go straight to Hello Triangle. So in this crash course, we are gonna go ahead and make this show up on your screen. Ta-da! Orange triangle. And we're gonna do it using just OpenGL and C++. So if you could draw a triangle with just C++ and OpenGL, hey, you're pretty cool. So it's pretty intense, but one of the really hard parts is building your project and setting things up, and that's the part that I'm gonna kind of give you a shortcut through. So that's what we're gonna do today. That way you're just up and running with a nice, beautiful triangle on your Windows. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to do is go ahead into the GitHub. There's a link on the learnopengl.com GitHub. I also have a link on the Discord. I want you to click on this green button here, and I want you to download this zip file. This is going to download the entire GitHub repository for this project. It's about 200 megabytes, so not too bad. So once you have that downloaded, on wherever you have it downloaded, I want you to go ahead and extract all, and then anywhere you want to extract it is fine. Just go ahead and click extract. I already did it on my downloads folder here. It's called the Learn OpenGL master. And we are gonna go ahead and open, well, I'm going a little too fast. We are gonna go ahead and open the source code for the Hello Triangle project. And I will show you where that is at. You want to go to your root directory, to Learn OpenGL, and then go to source over here. And we're going to go to getting started. And we want to use the Hello Triangle 2.1. This one right here. And then we are going to use, before we even get started with Visual Studio, you want to make sure you have your Visual Studio can do C++. So whether you have Visual Studio installed or not, what you want to type in a Visual Studio and look for this installer button here. And in my case, I'm using Visual Studio 2022. And if you already have it installed, go ahead and click modify. Oh, wait, nothing's showing. Let me start over. It wasn't showing on the screen. So look for something called Visual Studio Installer. Okay, we can see it here. Click on that, and then this screen will show up. Click on Modify. I'm going to be using Studio Community 2022. Click Modify, and while things are getting ready, I'm going to go ahead and show you desktop development with C++. So if you don't have that checked, that means you're gonna have to check it and install it. It's about 8 gigabytes to download and whatnot. So hopefully you have it installed already. And if not, I am making a recording of this, so you'll be able to catch up later. So I already have it installed on mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump back to opening our file. So we have Hello Triangle here. You can open it with a text file if you'd like, or with Visual Studio. So we're gonna go ahead and copy and paste this code into a Visual Studio project. So go ahead and open up Visual Studio. So I'm gonna open up 2022, and we are gonna go ahead and go to Create Projects, Empty Project with C++. Go ahead and click Next. I'm going to name my project OpenGL Crash Course Part 1 and create. And we're gonna go ahead and create our file. Okay, so now once it's created, we want to go to our source files here. Go ahead and right click, add new item. And we're gonna call this new item, well, let's just keep it as source.cpp. That will be fine. Okay, so now we have source.cpp right here. And we are gonna go back to our hello triangle.cpp, and we want to copy the contents of this file into our source.cpp file. Open it however you like, with Notepad or whatever. I'm gonna open it with Visual Studio. I'm gonna go ahead and select all, copy, and then paste it into our source.cpp. And then make sure to click close down. Make sure to close hello triangle.cpp after that. That way you don't get confused and edit the wrong code, like has happened to me several times before. Okay, so if you've seen a bunch of red lines, fantastic, you're doing great. Because now we have a chance to address these issues. The first thing we need to do when we do something like this, and like as a reminder, we are taking a shortcut just so we could get OpenGL running up and running into your system as fast as we can, as easy as we can. So in order to address these issues, not open source file, glad, that's because Visual Studio cannot find these files. They do exist in our computer, so we need to tell Visual Studio where these files are. And this is how we do it. First of all, I need to tell you where the files are. For our GitHub repository that we downloaded, we do have an includes folder here that includes just about almost all the files we need to use to get our code running. So I want you to go ahead and go to your wherever you downloaded your the repository. Go ahead and click on it, click on the root folder, and then look for the includes, copy that, and go ahead and copy the directory path. So go ahead and copy just like that. And then we want to go back to Visual Studio. We're gonna edit the project settings. It's this one here, OpenGL Crash Course Part 1. Not this one, but this one here. So go ahead and right click on its properties, then go to C++, and right here where it says include additional directories, go ahead and paste that in. And make sure this is set to all configurations. All configurations here, platform, all platforms. Okay, so let's go ahead and click OK. And once we click OK, these red lines on the includes should disappear. So let's see if that happens. Hey, all right. Not only those lines disappear, but it looks like every single line, red line, squiggly line disappeared. Hey, so it looks like we're ready to rock and roll. Or maybe, let's see. Actually, spoiler alert. Oh yeah, it's not gonna run. So let's see why it's not running. The reason it's not running is because, oh wait, let me try that again. Let's see, would you like to build errors? Okay, so it says unresolved external symbol, glad, binary, blah, da, 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 a bunch of stuff. Okay, so when you're doing C++ projects like these, and you need to go ahead and use, so for OpenGL, we are gonna need to use some library files. Let me show you what these library files look like. So usually we need to use, for OpenGL, we use other files. One of them is called glue, and the other one's called glfw. So what glfw does, it handles like Windows stuff for us, like the screen, like the OpenGL window where all the rendering is being done. That's what glfw does for us. And then glue over here, what that library has, it has all the functions for interfacing with the without the hardware in the graphics card, and then allowing OpenGL to work with the hardware via these functions. I may not be doing justice to the description for these things, but that's basically what it is, like in a nutshell, very layman terms. And then these files here need to be are associated with the binary files, which are stored somewhere else in our repository that we downloaded. So the first thing we need to do is we need to copy this path here. Let's go ahead and copy it, our library path. If you need to see it again, it's in our root folder and in library here. Okay, so go ahead and copy that. And then we are going to go back to the properties of our project and go ahead and go to where it says linker over here and additional library depository directories, and go ahead and paste that in there and click OK. I'm going to go ahead and run it. We're still going to get errors, but I just wanted you to see what these errors look like. So in case you run into them again, you'll know how to address them. So I'm going to go ahead and run, and it's saying external symbol, same thing. And so pretty much the same errors looks like. So in this case, we need to provide the binary files. So to find these files, we go back to our root directory here, and the binary files are, wait, these aren't binary files, the DLLs. No, that's not it. Let's see. First of all, okay, so we are gonna need to use these DLL files, but not these here, but different ones. I believe these are stored in, well, let's get back to that what I was talking about. What we need to do first is I didn't really address these errors. I just kind of glossed over it, right? Okay, this is important. So it says glad here. See, it says glad. That's because what we're doing here with this include here, all we did was include the header file for glad. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Okay, so we have this file called glad, but as I said, it only has it's only the header file. It has function prototypes, I believe, somewhere down around here. And then these functions are defined in a different file, which we have not provided yet. So let me show you where that file is stored in the repository. It is actually stored in the root folder and in sources and glad right over here. So this is where the definitions are stored for our glad.h file. So we need to include that into our project. So go ahead and you could just drag it into our, okay, just go ahead and drag that into our source files here. Ta-da. And we're almost ready to get this thing going. The glad, these are unresolved external symbols for glad should disappear now, and we might get a different error, and we will address that. But the glad file should be addressed now. Okay, so now we are getting the glfw errors here. So unresolved external symbol for glfw, and I believe the reason that is let me go ahead and refresh our memory, my memory that is. The way we take care of that, we need to go to input here and provide some additional dependencies. And the way that looks is, let me refresh. How did I do this? I am gonna go ahead and cheat a little bit and open my previous a previous solution that I had before, and it didn't save the recent files. Okay, so I actually did. Okay, memory. Uh-oh, did I do that in a different? Okay, here we go. Crash course 0. So I did come prepared. Don't worry. Let me just refresh my memory on how I addressed this issue with the additional dependencies. So what I did was I went ahead and copied. Okay. Oh, I added the library files. Okay, that's how we did it. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide this window and go back to Oh wait, did it close the other window? Let's see. I think it did. So let me open the. I'm gonna close this solution, and I'm gonna go back to the one we had before, which was I believe it was number 1. So I'm gonna close this one here. Uh-oh. Just hang tight, everybody. So I'm gonna go back to Visual Studio, and I'm gonna go to Crash Course number 1. There, part 1. Here we go. And where set the additional dependencies, our project is dependent on these library files that provide the functions for our GLFW here, and for also something called glue. And I believe glue is to find glue stuff here. Oh, I guess not. But we are gonna need to have so we have the header, the library, everything stored, the data stored in the library for GLFW. That information is stored in our download on the root folder in libraries. Okay, so now we are gonna go ahead and copy this path here, where we have our glue32s.library. This is one of the ones we're gonna use, and we're also gonna use a glfw.library. So, all right, so these two here is what we're gonna need to use. But don't copy these files, just copy the path over here. Then we're gonna go to additional dependencies in our project properties. Go to linker, input, additional dependencies, and we are gonna go ahead and add. Oh wait, we already did this part. Never mind. So don't copy that, but do go back to these files and do copy the name of these files. So we want glue over here, and we also want glfw. Okay. And if you remember, if you've been paying attention, you probably saw that. Oh, it's like my window here needs to be resized. Okay, so go ahead and click OK on that, and then click OK on that. And so we addressed the issue with GLFW. We provided the libraries for that, and then we also addressed the issue for what's the other library file included. So it's GLFW and then glue. Okay, great. And I believe glue is mentioned here a few times. Oh, probably not. So now we should be able to run our project. So I'll go ahead and click run. It's looking really good so far. Hey, look at that. Looking good. Hey, now we have, oh wait, it's not even showing on the screen I'm recording. Ugh. But we do have a triangle. Ta-da! Hey, we did it, everybody. So, and I think for some reason my computer is lagging now. I don't think this triangle is that intensive as far as like colors and vertices. So, I'm not sure what happened there. Let me go ahead and but we do have a beautiful orange triangle there. Cool. All right, everybody. So now that we did that, you should be able to get OpenGL up and running. So let's go ahead and you know what? I'm gonna just run it one more time. Show you the. Okay, so this thing interferes with the recording for some reason. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot here, and then I'm gonna close it, and we are about. And we are just about done with this crash course part 1. I'm just gonna very briefly describe what is going on with this triangle here. So a triangle is we gotta define a triangle with 3 vertices. We got one here, and then another one here, and then another one here. Like this, right? 1, 2, 3, and these are defined over here in something called vertices. There we go. Whoops. Vertices right here. So here we have the left side of the triangle, the right side of the triangle, and the top side of the triangle. And as you know, and these are vertices in 3 dimensions. So we have x, y, z, and then x, y, z. right here. So one thing I would like you to do is like look at the code and like get comfortable, get familiar with it. I will go very briefly with it. So what I'm about to highlight here, actually very important. These are called shaders here. These are these are programs, small programs that run inside each core in the graphics card. And you can see that it's a program here because you have this. You see this void main, and then we have another one void main. So these are actually tiny little programs that run in the graphics card, and we have two of them. One of them that processes the vertices here is called the vertex shader, and the other one that processes colors, which is called the fragment shader. So try to get that into your head. Fragment and colors, those are usually very associated together in OpenGL. So shaders are very important. So I'll definitely emphasize shaders in the future, but just know that for now that the vertices that we define for the triangle get passed to the vertex shader, and we also sometimes also pass the color data to the vertex shader. And so then vertex shader does its stuff to communicate that information to the graphics card, and then the vertex shader passes color data to the fragment shader, and then it processes the color data, sends it to the graphics card, and the graphics card does its thing to do its color. So shader is very important. Okay. And then the rest of the code that I highlighted here and here, this all of this stuff is Windows creation stuff. So everything I highlight here, this is for creating the window. I would like you to take a look at it like at least once, get familiar with it. Uh, you don't need to memorize everything because eventually all of this is going to be encapsulated into a class. So we won't have to like deal with this as much. So this is all window creation stuff, the stuff that creates the this window here and then the boxer around it. So that's what I showed you there. And then up next is let's see, where did I leave off? Up next is the vertices. So we create vertices here. And the rest of this stuff here is us setting up, preparing OpenGL to pass that data onto the shaders that I showed you earlier. So that's what all of this stuff is. Oh, it's not that bad actually. It's just a triangle. So yeah, not that bad. This you should get more familiar with. You don't have to memorize it, just look what it looks like. So stuff like at the point where we actually pass the data to the OpenGL, is the vertices happens GL buffer data. So make sure you at least recognize this function here, GL buffer data. Very important, especially when it comes to like reverse engineering or uh, the MetaQuest 2 stuff, or for learning, reading about the documentation. Very important stuff here. And then when over here in the while loop, as you know, we're getting a frame after frame after frame. So that happens in a while loop. And all of this here, let's see. What happens here is just kind of like a pre-processing, just prepares OpenGL and the window to render stuff. And then we create programs pretty much for every like 3D object you create. So we created a program with OpenGL to draw the triangle. We'll get more into that later. But one thing I really want you to take a look at is this function called GeoDrawArrays. So when it comes, so this is what actually renders what we defined, our shape that we created onto the window, the OpenGL window. So like I said, when it comes to reading documentation and reverse engineering, this is another very important function that we will need to get familiar with. So, like I said, you should be able to now run this, see your cool triangle here, and then I would like you to, yeah, just go ahead and get familiar with this code. Maybe play around with it. Maybe a little challenge. Go ahead and make this triangle green. I think you can do it. I'll give you a little hint. The color is defined in the fragment shader here. So if you could make that green, triangle green, hey, you're doing good. And you could, and if you want more details, you could go to learnopengl.com, and this is an amazing resource for learning OpenGL stuff. All right, cool. All right, everybody. So hopefully this video will help you get started with OpenGL and getting familiar with it, so you can be a productive member of this team. All right. And like I say, we don't only need. Oh, I will be the expert in OpenGL stuff, but we also need and someone familiar with Android Studio. We need someone familiar with like what else? Java, Kotlin, and everything else I mentioned on the slides would be very helpful. Or if you want to help me with my social media stuff, that'd be helpful too, like recording or video editing if you have those skills. But yeah, so this should be a good semester. Uh, and also, I did some progress today with reverse engineering on the Quest 2. That's something I'll be happy to talk about with all of you later at the next time we meet. All right, cool. So, all right. So, nice session. I think we do have some people in the Discord chat. Oh, not anymore. So, yeah. All right, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.